Welcome to my next project. This is the, this is going to be one of the Blight Lords, but this is going to be the hero, the Lord of Afflictions.
So, we have arrived at our new project, the Lord of Afflictions. So as you can see, I have assembled all the parts where I feel that I've done enough, or I can access everything necessary to have a good painted model before I assemble it. And yeah, this includes some of the parts of this rot fly. It's not a drone, by the way. Earlier I said drone, but I stand corrected. It's a rot fly. My apologies. And what we'll do now is we'll whip out the usual suspects. That is Administrator Grey and Corex White. And we take out our dry brushes as well. So let's saturate the big guy first. I'm testing whether I just have to be a bit more careful. I see it looks a bit fragile. I don't want the plastic breaking, right? So here goes. Anyway, and now run 2 cameras. Yeah, here. So what I'm basically doing here is I am applying Administrator Grey, dry brushing it on most of the surface of the rot fly, because out of experience, if you leave too much black on a model, the model turns out pretty dark when you slap chop it later on. That's your shadow. See, there's another camera here. Yeah, there. Ding, 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 ding. Nice, right? Okay. I guess you're hungry? You want to eat some breakfast? Alright. Oh dear. Nice. Well, let's see if this will work better now. We're going to continue our array. So again, what you want to achieve in the end is a model that looks like a statue of stone, so to speak. Alright, Let's do the white highlighting now. Oh, I forgot. White is always the most tricky paints. There we go. It just takes a long time to mix. Anyway. You want to saturate the brush. See how the paint still a bit wet, I think. Not too bad. Now I'm hoping the GoPro footage is not too blurry. I'm quite close to it, but maybe I should review the video before continuing. At least I have the top-down view. Highlighting with the whites usually doesn't take more than 15 to 20 minutes per model. And it's not different with this complex model as this Lord of Afflictions. And while we're watching me speed paint through this, I'd like to share that I also made a mistake here, and I don't think I recorded that. I kept it out, but I painted two of the same side rot fly legs, as you can see here, and I did not even notice until I had to glue the parts together. So that was a fun moment. There. We're done. On to the next phase. I'll let this dry. And then we're going to do this guy first. Just to make sure that the armor looks like I want it to. I'll just do a little bit. But what I want to achieve, actually what I wanted to achieve, was one of those darker fly schemes with the red eyes. So I really want this to work. Wait, I haven't even opened this one yet. Careful. Alright. Now we're gonna see what it does. You know what? I think this might work. This might actually work. The reason I was worried before, right, was that I will give the Lord of Afflictions a dark armor scheme, but now I realize that I could actually I could actually do it slightly different. It doesn't have to be really dark. And if we make the Lord of Afflictions stand out as long as it stands out from these flies. I really like, when I was a kid, that's what I would see. These for the lack of a better word, poo flies. I don't know what they're called. But these guys were always outside hunting for fecal matter. And there were a lot of dogs in our part of the suburbs. I came from a suburb, little town. So I'm not too worried, but I also want to have, I won't call it the color of the rainbow effect, but like a prism effect would be nice on the wings. Not sure how to achieve that yet, though we'll figure that out later. There. Alright. That's that done. Well, this is a very unfortunate situation, isn't it? Oh, wait, hold on. I think I got it. Dark of Flesh. This is the brown that might bring everything together. And in fact, it did not bring everything together. And I later on changed the color. You'll see what color it will be. Anyway, it did look more uniform with the new colors. And as always, just apply a nice rich coat of it. So once I finished the saddle, I moved on to the wings. You'll see shortly, and I'm gonna cut right to it now. What I'll do is I'll do a little bit of very light I'll do a very light application of this, and then I put the blue over it. Maybe alright, moment of truth. How will it blend? Oh my god, it doesn't. Okay. What in the world? Well, that sounded wrong, by the way. Okay. The GoPro battery died, so unfortunately I don't have any side
few video for you at this point, but I kept going and finished up those wings. At this point, I started working on the details of the rotfly. I made the eyes red. I added darker colors on top to create a sort of emerald look. I painted all the details on his body, like those intestines sticking out, the wounds, and so on, as well as working on the other details. And I'll keep it running on 20 times so the video doesn't get too long, although I'm recording this after I've finished editing and it's already a 50-minute video, so please stay tuned. And if you haven't done it yet, please like and subscribe if you enjoy what I'm doing, and I will keep making these videos of other models. Next up is the Blight Lords, so stay tuned. Here you see me prepping the paints for the skulls, the nurgling, and other details on the banner. And it turned out quite nicely, I have to say, especially the nurgling. I really like what the contrast does with these things. At this point, I started working on the banner itself. I chose the orange and yellow color. In the end, I added those colors further on in the model, but decided to revert those colors later on. You'll see. Now I'm starting off with the details, including the intestine that is hung up on the banner and held by the nurgling. And I will also paint the whatever that is, a maggot sticking on that top of the banner as well. This will be the moment I start working on the armor of the Lord of Afflictions, and I'm using Warp Lightning as a base, and I will put the grime on top of that to darken it.
Alright, so I did a little off-camera test. Sorry about that, but yeah. And it turns out it actually worked as I wanted to. Not sure you can see it. It's a bit shiny now, but we can fix that later on. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the thing I was initially planning to do. And let's cover this whole body with this green, followed with the grime.
So we've come to the point where I will paint the incubatch, and I've chosen to use the same color as the banner to create some form of uniformity, but I also checked online what the cities of Sigmar army units look like, so it's sort of inspired by that, and I made the decision to make it green, as in make it look like it's been festering for a while, so to speak. The model in the book still shows human flesh color, as if it was just taken from the battlefield, but I figured it might be nicer to have a incubatch that has been taken along for a few rides, and he's still holding on to that particular one. So that's the choice I made. Here you see me do a quick fix on the legs. That still had to be done. Same armor layout as the main body, so pretty straightforward. I started doing some detailing on the main part as well, make sure that everything is covered. And yeah, at this point the Lord of Afflictions base coat or slap chop has been finished. Alright, there's something we need to discuss here, and that is uniformity. Not sure you can see it, but yeah, I feel if I put these two together, they don't look like they belong together. And it is because this is too brown. So I want this. I still want the rotfly, the bug, the rotfly. Yeah, it is the rotfly, to be dark blackish. But that means I need to change this color here. It's too brown, and it doesn't really match the rest of the army feel. So one option is I go really light with this, turning it into a very light white-ish armor. That said, I could also go for something green, more Nurgle looking, and I think that might be a nicer option. So I had some wishful thinking at this point, where I tried to apply the Plaguebearer flesh on top of the brown, but that obviously didn't work, so I had to reapply the slap chop, but I stuck with just white this time and used the brown as the darker parts, and I took the opportunity to do a proper slap chop of the little guy, the nurgling, as well. At this point I started applying the Plaguebearer flesh, and I soon saw that it really made the model look more Nurgle and uniform. The only problem was now I cannot make the nurgling green anymore, so I had to make a decision at that point what color I should make that nurgling, and I chose purple in the end. can move on from here. This is how you correct the problem with contrast. Nice. So, a fresh look on the new color layout, and it looks a lot better now, I think. We're still gonna work on the we still have to work on the ropes like this. This doesn't sit well for me. A purple nurgling. Not sure you can see it. The light is not shining on it properly. At this point, I prep the shaders and I'm applying another layer of grime on the rotfly, which is a small task to do. But adding the shaders to the model really gives it a nice detailed look, as you'll see later on when I slow down the video. At this point, we are working on all the metal of the model. So the armor, the chains, and bronzing the bell as well. Anything with metal on this model, just paint this point. And then after that, I will put either Agrex Earthshade or Nuln Oil, depending on what part of the model, as a shader. Pretty straightforward stuff, easy to do. I did some work off camera. I'll show you here. So I added Screaming Skull to the horns. I've put Agrex Earthshade on the bell, and I put Gnome Oil here on the chain. All things that are standard stuff, and I figured wouldn't be a big issue if I'd put it there. However, we are going to apply a little bit of white here. So now we're gonna do the contrast again. Yeah, we're gonna do a white-ish overlay here. Then we're gonna apply. Forgot. I think apply first a little bit of dark oath. At this point, I took the opportunity to use the white and off-white colors to make some details happen on the rest of the model. not just the horns of the Lord of Afflictions. That means I've been doing the eyes, the maggots, the eyes of the nurglings, and the maggots that are sitting on top of this nurgling, as well as the maggots that you can find on the rest part of the body, before I started using the contrasts again for those horns, as earlier mentioned. And we're back. Alright, so we did some work on our main guy. I put some Agrex Earthshade on all the armor. I finished the horns, as I did with actually, come to think of it, alright, I might have, shoulda, coulda, woulda recorded that part, but short version, I applied some, what's it called? Where are you? Oh, here, Dark Oat Flesh. Added some Dark Oat Flesh. Wait, let me just... Dark Oat Flesh first, and then at the bottom part I added some Wyldwood and the crevices, you know, the little cracks in it, so to speak. I added Wyldwood, and then you get this effect. Yeah. So it's pretty straightforward. Nothing special. Then I added some skin flesh on the head. Put some Reichland shade on it. Bada bing, bada boom, done. And the rest is all just shader. So what we're working on now is in fact the other part that needs to be done, and that's the highlighting of the wings. As you can see, I decided to brighten the wings up first before darkening those veins you can see inside those wings. But later on I found out that by accident, by applying a little coat of Plaguebearer flesh with a lot of water that already is applied to the wing, will create a nice sort of sheen that I was looking for earlier. It might not be the rainbow colors, but it is pretty cool in the end. I was pretty happy with the result of the initial wing. The other wings, however, especially the big one on the right, did not come out as nice. I think I applied too much Plaguebearer flesh, but you'll see what I mean with the end result. So, for those with a keen eye, made some changes. I put Corex white over the red. I wasn't too happy with it. And I'm gonna use Gutrippa Flesh, the green, for all the robes, the stuff, the rags, the robes for this character. Because the red felt a bit out of place. I mean, the red banner is still possible. I could also make that green, but for now, that's how we're gonna roll. Oh yeah, and then after that I put Null oil to make it shaded again. So we're gonna quickly finish this project, as I'll be traveling soon, and I want this project done before that time. So what I've done is, the last thing I've done is made this a mixture of Plaguebearer flesh and Gutrippa Flesh. And it turned out quite nice. It's now more uniform with the rest of the model. So what we're gonna do now is we are going to work on the base. So I'm going to lower the camera a bit. And for the base, I had in mind... Wait, which one? I think I had this in mind. Yeah, it was this one, I think. Yeah, this is the one. So I'm going to put this big piece here. Or here, wherever. Yeah, I'll put it there. Geek Gaming Cyanic Farming. Geek Gaming Cyanics. Cyanic Farming. I don't know why I said farming. So it's this. Oh. This brand, it's very nice, and this one is called Arid Grasslands, one of my favorite. And what we're going to use for paint is just simple PVA glue. So I'm going to put this guy up first. And we are back. I took a short vacation and came back with a fresh look on this model. And I realized a few things. First, I forgot to highlight a few items. That includes the metal parts. I need to highlight this. I finished sort of the base now, as you can see. Looks quite nice. However, we need to put some work in, and I'm gonna adjust this thing again. There you go. I'm not sure this is enough. Hold on. Oh yes. This would be easier to adjust, I think. There we go. There we go. So, what we're gonna do now, this little guy, is gonna do all these metal thingamabobs. We're gonna highlight our metal things. Runefang steel for that. Oh wait, there you go. Very nice. It's almost silver. At this point, I realized I wanted the rotfly to have a little bit of green tint on its body, like a very slight sheen. And I used this opportunity to just add a little layer to it. And that also helped with the details that I painted earlier, to make it a little bit more overlapping, so to speak. So that's what you see me do here. These are basically the final touches of this model before I decide to varnish them. Let's see. I can always put grime over it again. I'm not sure you can see in this. Yeah, you can see it with a certain light. Pretty interesting. Anyway, now we've come to the point where we varnish our model. I think this looks complete enough. What I've done off camera is I've highlighted the weapon. I've added metal, sort of like the indentations. I made them metal looking. And I fixed the eyes. So now we are ready to go. Although, side note, I am a little bit unhappy. Well, unhappy. I'm not 100% content with the wings here, and Well, come to think of it, I think there's a chip off here. I might have to fix that. Yeah, it looks like a chip off. I'm not sure if it is, but it looks like it. So I'll have to maybe fix that. But other than that, yeah, we're pretty good to go, to be honest. To finish this up with some varnish. Now, if you watch the other video, I have used for the... Wait, did I use? Yeah, I did. No, I think I even... Did I varnish the Beast of Nurgle? I should have. I think so. Anyway. Anyway, so I'll use Storm Shield, which is the matte. Interestingly enough, so Storm Shield is the matte color, semi-matte, for anything non-metallic. That includes these, yeah, shall we call it shiny beasts like the rot flies. I prefer matte looking models, to be honest, but I don't like matte looking metal. So for that, we're going to use Art Coat. Art Coat is the shiny varnish. I call it shiny varnish. I don't even know what the official... Gloss, finally. The glossy varnish. So we're going to do Storm Shield first. That's it. I'll do a nice little turntable footage, B-roll, if it were. I'd say some parts I could have been more precise, but overall, once it's on the table, I doubt you'd be noticing it unless you're like going every inch of this, going over every inch of this model. And yeah, the overall look, the overall vibe is nice. Congratulations, you made it to the end of this video. Again, if you like what I'm doing, how I'm presenting it, please consider liking and subscribing this video. It would help me out greatly. Thanks again for watching, and see you next time.